Hello and namaste, my beautiful friends. I'm Jill Loftus of Nuit Astrology. Welcome to your planetary energy forecast for the week of March the 17th, 2025. Now we are in the midst of a ramp up of energy. Why? Well, it's because so many of the planets are clustered together in the sign of Pisces, which is the end of the zodiac, and beginning to move into Aries, the very beginning of the zodiac. So think of the end of the zodiac, those last degrees of Pisces, as kind of like the finest filter through which the karmas must be sorted in order to start the brand new cycle of Aries energy. Aries, in fact, the Aries season begins this week with our spring equinox, and that equinox comes at any time, at the time that the sun goes to 0 degrees of Aries. This is how we determine our official start of spring. And this is indeed actually the astrological new year. It is considered to be the very beginning, and it's a wonderful time for do-overs in case during the calendar new year you lost track of some of your desires or goals. This is a wonderful time to initiate them, but this is also a time to understand that with the energy in Pisces, there's a certain amount of dissolution that's happening. And so as we watch structures dissolve, beliefs dissolve, boundaries dissolve, something needs to be there to reconstruct, right? And that is part of the reason we have Saturn sweeping through at the end of this. You know, it's very interesting the way that's happening. It feels very much like a time period of instant karma and instant understandings, and that is because Saturn is there really finishing up its journey through the sign of Pisces. And, you know, Saturn typically stays in the sign for about 2 years. So this cycle would have initiated in March of 2023, and we are pushing towards its movement into Aries coming up in May. But the big story right now is just the fact that the planets are so close together. This increases the volume. This also makes it so that energies are not distilled to their essence. They, in fact, are having to manage each other. And so this, of course, tends to be very overwhelming, especially if they're hitting sensitive points in your chart. You're not just having 1 or 2 planets drilling down on those points. You're having many, many planets. And so this can feel like a grand volume of energy, and it can be overwhelming. So I suggest slowing down, really being gentle and kind to yourself, but also really observing the positive expressions of Pisces energy, which is spirituality and intuition and connecting to your deep inner self. Understanding emotions as a superpower instead of something to be squashed or ignored or, you know. I think it's funny, you know, so many of the spiritual traditions, they really come down on emotions and emotionality. And I have to say, it's something that's really important for you to understand how it steers you and how you listen to it and how your emotions can send you into motion indeed, but it is important still to feel what you're feeling and understand what you're feeling and not try to squash it or deny it or put it in a nice little box somewhere and hide it. It's important to really let those feelings wash over you and then decide what you're going to do, what actions you're going to take, what wise, measured actions you're going to take. All right, so as we enter the week, we really have that concentration of the North Node amplifying the Sun, amplifying Neptune. All right, so this could be very confusing. So understand there's a lot more to most situations than you are seeing. And remember, because we have Mercury in its retrograde, Venus in retrograde, and Mars in shadow, that we're not going to have resolutions right away. So gather the new information as it comes in. The next thing to watch is on the 20th, the sun will go into Aries. It's at 5:01 Eastern. So if you'd like to ritualize that or do another Tarka or just kind of invite that fresh energy in, this is a great opportunity to do it. Now, it is also something to pay attention to because as we have any planets moving into early Aries, they will be sending sextile, which is a luck or blessing aspect, to Pluto in Aquarius. And so we're going to have some dancing back and forth, right? Remember, because we have both Mercury, the mind and how we speak, in Aries, and we also have Venus in her most passionate and sometimes immature position in Aries. We have them dancing back and forth. And so as they do this, they also come into this blessing aspect with Pluto. So this is visionary. This is looking forward. This is change. What's new? What's coming on the horizon? What new things are stirring within you? New ideas, new pathways, new values, new ways to look at what's important to you. So take that into consideration as you move through the middle of this week and into next, because that dance between Venus, love, Mercury, communication, the Sun, essence, all of them kind of commingled together passionately, sending beautiful energy to Pluto. Well, again, it's about transformation. It's about letting go, letting something die so that something new can be born. All right. Also, Saturn in Pisces, sextile to Uranus and Taurus, that begins to strengthen. And we, in fact, have that lovely blessing between Taurus and Pisces all the way through the rest of this month and into April. I am here for it. I am excited about this. I think this is such an assistance, such an aid. Things that are leaving your life are in your way. Let them go. See the magical synchronicity. See the liberation aspect of what's happening. Don't cling. Don't cling, because Uranus won't let you. Uranus won't let you. It's showing you new things to attach to, new ways, new ideas, new. It's all very new. There's so much energy changing. You have to become adept at change, or at least embrace it. Now, we also have, because the Sun is so close to Venus and to Mercury, we will have the Venus cazimi is what we call it this week. And then next week, it'll be Mercury. So one by one, they'll get close to the Sun. The Sun will blot their energy out, will be shining. They'll be, oh, that's so bright. I'm having trouble functioning. And then there'll be a moment of empowerment when their Sun swallows the planet and the aha moment comes through. And so the aha moment will come through this week on the 22nd. And next week, Mercury will experience that on the 24th. So there could be abundant revelations, understandings, just like, oh, see it clearly, right? See it authentically. See it for what it is. So I want you to really lean into that and make sure you're journaling and make sure you're keeping track of what's happening for you in your life, the information that you're downloading, the things that you're reading and experiencing so that you can integrate them. Know also, though, when they're moving close to the Sun there, they don't always function at their peak. And so if you are ruled by Venus, which means Taurus or Libra, or ruled by Mercury, which means Gemini or Virgo, it's going to be a little harder to discern the way forward or discern what thoughts you want to send more energy to and build something with, and what need to be discarded or released or at least set down until you can get more information. So understand there's that level of confusion and, again, quantity of information and quantity of energy. So be patient with yourself, divinely patient with yourself as you move through this week. So as far as the light of the week, well, I'm loving all these sextiles to Pluto. I mean, change is coming, so we might as well get the hints, the small things that show up for us, that show us how we're going to navigate that and move forward. I'm also, again, a big fan of the Saturn-Uranus sextile. Remember, though, that sextiles are just bits of luck. I've had so many people talk to me this week, all my clients, it's just like, can you believe I ran into this person? And can you believe I made this connection? It's like, yes, believe it. Now do something with it, okay? And I'm also really, of course, loving the Sun going into Aries. Spring is such a marvelous time of year. I remember as a younger person, I loved the summer, and then in my 30s and 40s, I was a person that really loved the fall. But now in my late 50s, I am a person who embraces spring and all that growth and new life. Now, of course, even with a positive connection to Pluto, when we're looking at the shadow of the week, we're still going to be a little careful, cautious. And I do also want to mention that Chiron, the wounded part of our soul, is going to pick up a square to Mars again midweek. Now, we experienced this back in April. But this is just, again, it's showing us the wound of independence. Where are you not standing on your own 2 feet? Where are you not feeling capable? Where are you not feeling empowered? This is something to manage this week. And then, of course, also the stellium energy. I mean, it's a flood of Pisces. And most souls struggle with the energy of Pisces. And so have some deep compassion for your Pisces friends, but also your Virgo friends, because this is all in opposition to them. And it's a square to the Gemini and Sagittarius people as well. So everybody's going through something. Have some compassion and patience, all right? All right, let's see what the tarot has to say about the week. Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome to your Isis Lotus Tarot spread. This is going to be for the week of March the 17th, 2025, and the readings for the collective. Now, this gives us two ways to work with the energy. Right. So the first card as we look at it is the past, where we're coming from. King of Wands. So there's some fire energy here, some actions taken, some words spoken, something that you want to initiate. Could be something that comes from anger, emotionality, or upset, because this Fire King, he is very passionate. Okay. Now, you, Three of Wands, have started to move in a certain direction. You're trying to take some actions, and the environment is the Hierophant. You are either being seen as the wise person in these situations, or you're needing to check in with somebody, consult with somebody, seek some advice. As these energies come together, we get the Tower. So yeah, it's interesting. This is a week where we're dealing with the aftermath of Sun-Saturn conjunction and also an eclipse. And so a lot of times those hit late. And so the beginning of the week could be quite volatile. Here's the Tower indicating that these energies culminate and change is created. Now, the key card of the future is the Seven of Pentacles, which reminds us we need to play the long game. We need to think long term. Now, the opposing energies here, we've got the Sun. So you stepping forward as your beautiful self, and the World card, which is wonderful, which reminds you that you will be successful, that you have to have a big picture perspective here. Now, the near future card, Three of Swords. So watch for some difficult emotions, some difficult mental constructs. There's going to be some worry. There's going to be some stress this week. Be prepared. Now, the modifiers on the Sun side, we have the Knight of Swords, which means you're going to have to apply your mind logically, really think in a way that's rational, and go ahead and say the things you need to say. And then over here with the World card, we have the Three of Cups. We have this energy of excitement and happiness and fulfillment to work with as well. Now, with the Sun and the Knight of Swords, we've got the Five of Swords. So swords energy can be communication or expression. I always think of this card as not seeing the forest for the trees, being so focused on a certain outcome that we don't understand the consequences of our actions. So maybe slow down a little bit if you're on this side. And then over on the World and Three of Cups side, we also have more Knight energy, but this is the Knight of Pentacles. This is taking actions that relate to resources or money or practical things. Now, this is something to really think about here because, we are in a volatile time. So Knight energy can be a little bit rash, right? It can overreact. And so try not to be overly reactive. Take wise, measured actions. Now, on this Sun, Knight of Swords, Five of Swords side, we've got the Ten of Wands. Share the load. Don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. On the World side, with the Three of Cups and Knight of Pentacles, we have the happy family, the Four of Wands. And so consider your groups, consider those closest to you. Really take that into account for the choices you make right now. And then over here again on the Sun side, with the Ten of Wands, we have the Eight of Pentacles. I call this the apprenticeship card. You're learning some new things. You're acquiring new skills, okay? And in that process, yes, there's a lot of work and effort, but again, share the load. And then over on the other side, on the World side with the Four of Wands, we've got the Nine of Cups, the abundance, the wealth, emotional wealth, happiness, celebrations. Two distinctly different weeks, okay? So you are in this environment of feeling like you have to take action, right? And, coming together, you're working in the right direction. Now, you may or may not be the Hierophant. The Hierophant suggests going along with, paying attention to tradition, paying attention to wisdom, really seeing the higher mind of the situation. And then, of course, the Tower indicates change is coming. And we have to think long term about how to adapt to it. Now, on the one hand, Yes, you're trying to bring forward your own gifts and talents. There's some complicated emotions around this. And what you have to watch is that your mind and your mouth are on the right track, that you're not boldly going the wrong direction, as I say, or taking it all on. Understand there's an educational process going on. On the other side, well, this is a pretty happy week for these other folks. There is this assurance of success, this bigger picture view. Now, still complicated emotions, but then some happiness, joy, and abundance. Some idea about how to move forward, and taking into consideration your family, your little home environment, the people around you, whether they're your work people or your neighborhood people or your own personal family, then there's something to celebrate. There's something to look forward to. So look for the silver linings, guys. There's lots of sextiles in play over these next 6 weeks that we have to lean into. I wish you the most marvelous week, and I'll see you next time. If this was helpful, please comment, please like, please share with a friend. It helps the channel to grow. Bye.